to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner May. It's time on our agenda. Item number 1 is comments from the public. This time is set aside by the Board of Commissioners to allow individuals 5 minutes each to address the board on issues concerning the county. The total time set aside for public comments, 30 minutes. I think we've got enough time for this person that has signed up tonight. And I'm going to start with Nakia Hardy, our superintendent. I'm going to start with you. If that's okay? Superintendent of our county schools.
Good evening, and I'm so excited you're going to be recognizing our Bunn High School state champions. Good evening to your BRAG, commissioners, county manager, county staff, and members of our community. Oops, I forgot. Nakia Hardy, 360 Hawksbill Drive, Franklinton, North Carolina. On behalf of our County Board of Education, our students, staff, and families, I would like to thank our county commissioners for your partnership and your continued investment in Franklin County. As superintendent, I've had the privilege over the past several months to meet with many of you individually and collectively. I have appreciated the openness, honesty, and collaboration that have characterized our conversations. I believe we share a common goal: creating opportunities for the citizens of Franklin County and ensuring a bright future for each and every child. Franklin County Schools is proud to serve as the largest employer in our county and the educational home for thousands of students each and every day. We recognize the tremendous responsibility that comes with that role, and we remain committed to being good stewards of the public resources entrusted to us. Our commitment is simple. Franklin County Schools will continue striving for excellence in every area of our work. That includes academic achievement, athletics, character development, workforce readiness, college readiness, military readiness, and preparing students for life beyond the classroom. We are already seeing encouraging signs of progress. Our students continue to demonstrate growth in academic proficiency, and our educators remain focused on helping every child reach their full potential. We are equally proud of the accomplishments taking place outside the classroom. Just last week and recognized tonight, our Bunn High School baseball team captured the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A baseball state championship, the school's first baseball state title in nearly 5 decades. That achievement reflects more than simply athletic success. It represents discipline, teamwork, perseverance, community support, and the pursuit of excellence, qualities we seek to instill in every Franklin County student. Those same qualities are evident throughout our schools every day, whether in the classroom, on the athletic field, on the stage, in career and technical programs, through community service. Our students continue to make Franklin County proud. As we move forward together, Franklin County Schools remains committed to strengthening relationships, maintaining transparency, and working collaboratively with county leadership to address both current and future opportunities. Thank you for your leadership, your service to our community, and your continued partnership in supporting the students and families of our entire community.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy. Our next speaker is Kimberly Galusha. Sorry. Speak your name and address, please.
Kimberly Galusha, 1134 MC Wilder Road. I'm speaking on behalf of the residents regarding the proposed activities at Triangle North Executive Airport. To begin, I want to be clear that residents are not opposed to responsible development or regional economic growth. Our concern is ensuring that decisions are made with complete environmental record, clear public transparency, and meaningful community input while the review process is still active. Residents have made consistent efforts to be engaged through the process, but there remains limited clarity on what impacts are fully evaluated. This project is in the early stages of the environmental review, yet key elements such as groundwater testing and long-term monitoring are not included. This is a serious concern for those who rely on private wells. Without baseline data or monitoring, it becomes difficult to objectively understand or address the potential impacts later. From the process standpoint, this makes it harder to demonstrate that potential effects, particularly on groundwater, are completely reviewed at the appropriate stage. At this time, the environmental review process has not been clearly communicated in the way that allows public to see what safeguards are being considered, what is being assessed, or how community input is being used. Residents respectfully request 3 actions while the environmental assessment is still underway. First, a comprehensive environmental study that includes noise, cumulative impacts, public health considerations, potential environmental pathways, including groundwater. Second, baseline groundwater testing of available wells at the airport and surrounding private wells to establish pre-project conditions to help protect residents. Third is a formal public hearing during the environmental review process so that community input can be fully considered before decisions are finalized. These are standard practices when potential impacts to water, health, and community resources are involved. Residents are simply asking for a complete evaluation before conclusions are made. We're not asking to choose the airport over the community. We're asking you to remember that this community is your responsibility. To us, this is not a runway. It's people who live under the flight path, draw water from private wells, and call this community home. It's about families wondering if increased air traffic will affect the quality of life. It's about residents concerned about their groundwater, noise, and the future of their rural community they've worked so hard to build. The community continues to participate in good faith, asking only that the concerns be meaningfully considered. So I ask again, what does the community have to do to be heard? Because we are here, we are paying attention, and we're asking for a seat at the table before decisions are made, not after. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Our next speaker is Michael Downing.
Hello there. My name is Michael Downing. I live at 85 Wisteria Crest Drive. That is in Youngsville. Give me 1 second here. I'm here tonight to talk about Senate Bill 1082, the so-called Right to Work Constitutional Amendment, currently moving through the North Carolina General Assembly and headed to the November ballot. I'm going to read a quote from that. The right to work shall not be denied or abridged on account of membership or non-membership in any labor union. That word non-membership is the whole game. It sounds like freedom. It actually is a constitutional guarantee that workers can never be required to organize, even collectively, even when it benefits them, even when they desperately need it. I want to know where you all stand on this. Franklin County has roughly 39,000 working people, teachers, nurses, warehouse workers, construction crews, office workers. These people are watching AI reshape their lives and their industries. They're watching federal layoffs ripple through the economy. They're watching prices stay high while the wages don't move. And in North Carolina, the minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour, the federal floor. It hasn't changed since 2009. This is not an accident. This is a choice. These are your constituents. These are your neighbors. This amendment does not help a single Franklin County worker get that raise. It does not protect them from being replaced by an algorithm or an LLM. It doesn't give them the seat at the table when a company decides to cut their benefits. What it does is make it constitutionally harder, permanently harder, for workers to ever gain that leverage back. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, North Carolina has the lowest union membership rate in the country, 2.4%. Dead last, 50 out of 50. The national average is nearly 10%. Workers who are represented by a union earn over $10,000 more a year than those who aren't. $10,000 per year. For a Franklin County family, that could be the difference between getting ahead and maybe falling behind a little bit. But instead, at this moment in history, the North Carolina General Assembly wants to take a law that's been on the books since 1947, one that's never been seriously threatened, and permanently embed it into the state constitution. The bill's own sponsors, Senator Ford, Alexander, and Jarvis, were asked directly in committee, what threat to the existing law are you responding to? They couldn't name one. So if workers aren't asking for it and there's no threat to the law, what's driving this? North Carolina is already one of the most business-friendly states in the country. Businesses operate here with no organized pushback from workers. And the people sponsoring this bill are funded, in part, by the very industries that benefit most when workers have the least power to organize, negotiate, and push back. This amendment doesn't protect workers, it protects the arrangement permanently. So here's my ask to the board. On the record, in public, take a position on Senate Bill 1082. Post it on the county website. Not a vague statement, a clear one. Do you support this amendment or do you oppose it? If you support it, explain it to your constituents why this is the right moment to make it permanently harder for workers to organize when those same workers are facing most economic uncertainty in a generation. If you oppose it, tell us what you're doing about it. Because opposition without action is just silence with better optics. There's no neutral position here, and the people of this county deserve to know exactly where their elected officials stand, because a moment like this, the ability to organize, to have a collective voice, is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. I thank you for your time.
Our next person is David Jerome. State your name.
David Giroux, 617 Young Forest Drive. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually here to talk about the drought and hopefully what Franklin County is going to be doing about it in our backyard. So this is not the first drought North Carolina has had, and most of the scientific forecasts are stating that we're going to see a lot more in the future. Now, it should be the time for us to plan, but I just found out that there's been a reservoir planned for Franklin County since 1960, maybe 65. It may not have been proposed in an ideal location. It may have cost more money than what was available at the time. However, the future was noted, discussed, and a plan was made. At the present, we're in extreme drought again. Franklin County has been relying on neighboring counties to support municipal water, which is just not sustainable. Now is the time for us to consider building our own reservoir. Now is the time for you as county commissioners to do your jobs and invest your talents in the future of this county. Now, I've heard that there was a pipeline solution proposed to directly tap into Carr Lake or Lake Gaston. This would be a temporary solution at best, and I support it at this time, because not only would these pipelines provide water for the immediate need, but once we have a reservoir, we can then turn the switch and provide water for our neighboring counties in their time of need. And guess what? This would go a long way in maybe mending a few fences that may have been stepped on here in the last couple of weeks. So again, I'm asking y'all to think about the future of our county. What do we desperately need? Not only water, but a sustainable supply of water. A reservoir properly planned for could also supply hydroelectric power, recreational assets, support businesses and jobs in the vicinity of the reservoir, and it would provide a destination for tourism for citizens to come to this great county. Now, I don't want to leave with just saying, this is what I would like for you to do. I would like to leave by saying, how can I help? I'd be happy to serve on an advisory board. I'd be happy to review any documents that you have for a third-party independent assessment. But it's tough times, and we need to plan ahead for the future, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Darren Wilder. State your name and address for the phone.
Hello, my name is Darren Wilder, and I reside at 32 Wild Acres Drive in Franklinton. I come to you this month with a couple of requests and some sharing of information. First, I ask that you remove item 2F, which is the fiscal year 26 budget amendment number 10, from the consent agenda and discuss this publicly. While this may just be a little shuffling of money, there have been some mention in the news media of impropriety regarding the bypassing of a public hearing, which removes the voice of the people for comment. Their comments reads, adding this amendment to fiscal year 26 right before the June 30 fiscal close helps avoid the need for an additional public hearing. Number 2, I ask that you provide the public with an update to the Carr Lake water issue. Since last month's meeting, there's been quite a bit of activity, as well as a written proposal from our county manager as reported by Vance County News Media. A little insight would be appreciated. Third, I want to share some great information presented at the May 19th board meeting in Franklinton pertaining to the survey findings for the comprehensive land use plan. One of the key takeaways that resonated with me was that growth is acceptable when it is directed to appropriate corridors and paired with infrastructure. The most repeated expectation is not no growth. It is managed growth that protects the identity of Franklinton. 2/3 of the respondents preferred moderate growth and supported mixed use in several circumstances as long as it maintained the small town character. The top 3 community resources and amenities were parks and open spaces, a community center, and a community pool. I applaud the town for taking this on, as the growth reflected the voice of the public and how this public looks at growth, infrastructure, and amenities. I am unsure if the county or other municipalities have conducted a survey like the one in Franklinton. If not, I would urge them to take action. The voice of the people should be heard and considered in short and long-term growth planning. Thank you.
Our next person to speak is Ayla Livingston. Did I say that right?
Hi, everyone. My name is Takayla Livingston, and I live at 5488 Highway 401, Lewisburg, North Carolina. I'm here today as someone who grew up in Franklin County, who's an advocate for Franklin County's youth, and now a community reporter for our county. Why? Because I am someone who cares deeply about where this community is headed. Being in different meetings and leadership spaces has opened my eyes up to something real. The conversations in those rooms often sound nothing like the conversations happening in our homes, in our neighborhoods, and in our everyday life across Franklin County. And that gap matters, because when decisions are being made, the people most affected are not always being the ones heard. And to me, that is where the real change has to begin. Change in our community, change in a community like ours does not come from talking about the people. It comes from listening to them directly and honestly. And that means everyone, not just the youth, but also the adults, the parents, the caregivers, the workers, and everyday neighbors who shape the environments our children are growing up in. Because at the end of the day, our youth are watching. They are learning from what we do, how we show up, and whether we choose to listen or ignore what's happening right in front of us. And one thing has become very clear. Franklin County does not need someone to speak for the people. They need a space where the people can speak for themselves. And that belief has led me to create County Beacon. County Beacon is a community-driven platform built to bring forward real voices, real stories, and real experiences in our county. It's about more than just reporting. It's about truth, visibility, and making sure this community is heard in their own voice. It's not filtered through distance or assumptions. So on June 6th from 12 to 3 p.m., we are hosting the official County Beacon launch party at Port Noir Farms in Franklinton. This is more than just an event. It's a moment for our community to come together, leaders, residents, families, and youth to come together in the same space. A moment to move beyond formal conversations and into real connections. A moment to start building something that actually reflects the people living here every day. The goal is simple but powerful. To keep building a bridge between leadership and lived experiences, between decisions and daily reality, and between conversations happening in rooms and the voices living in this county every day. Because when people are truly heard, they don't just respond, they rise. And when a community finally listens to itself, we don't just change, we transform. So thank you for your time and thank you for your time, and I hope to see you on June 6th from 12 to 3 p.m. at Port Noir Farms in Franklinton. Thank you.
Okay, next person to speak is Scott Strickland.
8435 Highway 56. First of all, I'd like to start off, this is a thank you note, and you know where it came from. Stuart May was at the doctor the other day, and the drug rep got locked out of a car. The police department was unable to get in the car, so Stuart says, I know a locksmith just retired, he'll come out here and help you. So I go out here, and this is thank you note, thanking Stuart for getting somebody there fast to get her in the car. And she gave my organization a $100 check just because we were there to help. So that's a great thing. The next thing I want to, some of you got emails. We're going to be doing a chicken fundraiser at Walmart for the Miracle Network for Kids this Saturday. Come by and get your plate and help support a great cause. And if some of you want to help donate to buy the chicken, that'll be great too. We're trying to do the great. We did up there a couple weeks ago and had a great recess. So we're trying to help Walmart do what they need to do. We've been busy. We've been at the hospital doing the fun run. This is a great group of people right here. It's dark because of the trees, but they showed up at 6 o'clock, helped set up, help get these folks through that. But the most precious one is these kids right here. Them little kids right there look forward to it every year. It's only second annual. And some of them, the shirts were so long, they like to trip over them, but we were there to help them along. So that's a great thing. And the cow got arrested. But the other thing, I'm happy to pronounce that our group also assisted in the 67-year-old man missing, Mr. Cook. The Cook family has always helped our farm. We got to utilize some of our younger members from Bunn High School. I've been talking to Dr. Hardy about with the CERT program. They come out with the four-wheelers and stuff and helped us. So there's a great plus that we are moving forward with stuff with our group. We also got 25 folks with the Red Cross that have completed training, background checks and stuff. We'll be helping Franklin County in time of disaster and sheltering with our health department. We got the first couple hours, and then the Red Cross comes in and takes it over then for the next part of it. That's a good thing. And a couple weeks ago, somebody asked about where we insured. That packet right there is our insurance right there, along with our workman's comp that we're fixing to have to pay the second mortgage on. And so, but we're going, and we're going strong, and I'm happy that I got a group that will come out and assist. And I got a great DJ. I can't thank Mark enough for what he does to support us and support our community. I'm just excited all around. And to help with the county manager, we had a meeting a couple of days ago, and I think it was a great success, and I enjoyed talking to Ryan, and I enjoyed talking to Dr. Hardy, the school. And so, but all of y'all, like I said, we couldn't do it without y'all. We also attended the senior day in the park. We had our AED just in case, and we had some people fall out, but we were there to take care of the people of the community, and like we're supposed to do. And it makes me proud that have people on my group willing to get up and go at the moment's notice. And we couldn't have done it without y'all. So thank y'all for all you do. I know you take a lot of grief, but we're making you look proud. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Our last person to speak is Polly Fuller.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak this evening. I'm Polly Fuller. I live at 306 Black Swan Drive in Youngsville, and I am the Porch Communities Youngsville chapter lead. Porch Communities is a grassroots group of over 1,000 volunteers in hundreds of neighborhoods across 16 states, fighting hunger and food insecurity through neighbors helping neighbors. Since 2010, Porch Communities has provided over $17 million in hunger relief, with $2 million of that in 2025 alone. Porch is growing rapidly, as is the need for food, unfortunately. Our model is simple. Each month, neighbors leave a bag of non-perishables on their porch. Volunteers collect those bags and deliver them directly to local food pantries, schools, or community centers. Our vision is to have a porch in every community. I'd love to have every Franklin County neighborhood be a porch community. Porch works because it's easy. It's inclusive. Anyone can help in as little as a half hour monthly. Everyone grocery shops. Just buy a little bit extra 1 week per month and set it out on your porch. It's consistent, monthly, so everyone expects it. And it's flexible to the changing needs of each pantry. Each porch chapter is volunteer-led. The Youngsville chapter was started by me in October of 2025 and supports the Journey Ministry Pantry in Youngsville, who feeds 160 to 200 families weekly. The Franklinton chapter was started in November of 2025 by Brittany Pixton and supports Sowing Seeds NC, who feeds 100 to 150 families weekly. Together since their inception, these two chapters, active in around 12 neighborhoods in Franklin County, have provided these two pantries with just under 6,000 pounds of food and $700 in grocery funds. Porch is a non-government option for you to target food insecurity among your Franklin County constituents. It's nothing but a win for this county. A no-brainer, as one of my neighborhood coordinators likes to say. My ask of you is simple. Help us build awareness of Porch in Franklin County as an opportunity for concerned neighbors to help neighbors in need. Food donors love Porch as an easy way for them to help others within their very busy lives. Actively use your government leadership platform in your relationships, friends, families, religious congregants, business contacts. Businesses themselves can be their own Porch communities. And social media to help me spread the word about Porch Youngsville and Porch Franklinton so that the Journey Ministry Pantry and Sowing Seeds NC can better serve the growing number of food insecure in our county. Help us identify people who may want to start Porch chapters in Bunn and Lewisburg, so we have the whole county's pantries better stocked. With our help, make your neighborhood a Porch community, or recruit a friend, family, or neighbor to do so. Participate in your neighborhood's Porch efforts. I have postcards here explaining Porch communities with our web address and QR code where you can complete the Get Involved form. We are active on social media, and we have plenty of social media content we can share with you to begin promoting Porch immediately online. Thank you all again for your time and attention, as well as your consideration of supporting Porch to make our county an even better place to live for everyone.
That completes our comments from the public. Next agenda item is the consent agenda, and I need to add an item to this. There'll be the proclamation for the Bunn Wildcats, and we're gonna read that in just a few minutes. So, do you have any questions on the consent agenda, or do we have approval, a motion to approve?
Make a motion to add the proclamation to the consent agenda and approve.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to give the opportunity to let our finance manager speak to letter 2F. There's nothing wrong with some transparency. Suspicion is not a good thing. It's not healthy. Not a level of trust there. To be suspicion. So I'd like for Ms. Fulton to come up and get the clarification about this agenda. I will say this, in my experience on this board, there are a lot of governing rules for the state, because we do have state laws, and there's also the law, which the state we have to apply to or comply with. And a lot of times it requires things like this that many people don't understand, and until you're in the role of being familiar with the process enough times, you realize these things are part of being decent order and being law-abiding. So I think hear this, you will conclude, as I have, that these are decent, orderly things, and they're keeping us above board, compliant with the law, this statement. And thank you.
Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have to pull that item out and then discuss it.
We can.
Isn't that
That was my ask. I just,
right?
yeah, you just kind of took my lead.
Okay.
Okay,
fine.
all right, what we'll do.
Is there a particular portion that you're asking specifically for me to go over, or
It's
what would you like?
substantial.
Some
It is
direction?
pretty substantial. I think maybe hit the high points, particularly talk about a couple of those requirements that you have for accounting practices that have to be there. Speak a little bit to the ambulance, $29,000 is there for, and why we need to complete that, to add that to it. I think the 1.6 million towards the end is another big item that people may benefit understanding a little bit more about that, and at whatever level you feel comfortable. But the important part, I think, is just to illustrate that we are willing to be open and transparent, and we don't have a problem with sharing information to help people.
Yes, sir. The 29,233 for the EMS is actually where we got money back from our purchase, and so that's why it's a miscellaneous revenue to be able to do more with the wraps and things on the vehicles. The 1,481,730 in debt services. This is where we are having to do the GASB entries, which is an accounting journal entry for that we have to do at the end of the year. For subscription and leases, I have to have a budget there to be able to make it work, but there is no money whatsoever associated with it. It is truly accounting entry. And that's where you see the subscription financing and then the lease interest income make up a portion of that. And the remainder of it is that fund balance appropriated, which will not be spent. Again, it's just an accounting entry. For the fire departments, when you see section 2, for the fire departments to be able to pay out everything that they receive in for the taxes that our tax office collects for them, again, I have to have a budget there for me to be able to pay it out. So I'm increasing their expenditure and on the same hand, increasing their revenue to be able to pay out the things that they're getting so they don't have to wait another fiscal year to get their money that they've already collected. For section 8, that's the water and sewer enterprise fund. We receive capacity replacement fees, and those fees have to be transferred over to Fund 48, which is where our projects are. For the water and sewer, we've collected more than what we had originally anticipated. And again, I can't transfer it over if I don't have that expenditure line. So that's why there's a revenue and an expenditure there. It has nothing to do with the general fund. It's all revenue that was received in Fund 45 that just has to be transferred over to Fund 48 where it's restricted for projects, which is what those funds are collected for. The section 9 is the solid waste enterprise fund. That is fund balance from them so that they can do, again, the GASB entries. They have to do the same entries as I do in the general fund. And the other portion is for an additional compactor at the Highway 56 convenience site so that we can go ahead and put that in this fiscal year instead of having to wait to fiscal year 27. And then section 11 is for the DSS Representative Payee Fund. This is social services funds that they receive that are very restricted, and for them to pay out for their clients, they have to have the revenue there as well. Is there anything else?
Yeah, so tell me what gas.
I'm sorry.
I'm familiar with gas, okay, but there's all kinds of accounting things out there. So tell us for a moment, let's take the opportunity to help people also understand that these wonderful acronyms that you all live in.
The Government Accounting Standard Board is GASB.
Government Accounting
Standard
Standards
Boards.
Board.
They like to come out with new rules all the time and make it more
So there's
complicated.
this group that makes these rules within this Government Accounting Standards Board
Yes.
that you have to comply with every time. all the
Yes. If not, we will get written up in our audits and all of those things. Yes, sir.
Right. So again, these are things, folks, that we're not making up or that we're somehow being deceptive or not decent or above board. We're doing just what we need to be doing, which is being decent and above board and doing these things. And on the accounting side, you have to balance everything. And I know that's just, it's weird, but it has to be balanced. So whatever you put in the checkbook, you got to show where it went. Well, sometimes you put it in places where you receive it, but the government can't spend that money that it receives until it gets the authority of this board. So by doing this form, this amendment to the agenda, we give the authority for Ms. Holtzman and her staff and the finance department to be able to move that money to where it legally needs to go. And then she can therefore take and do what needs to be done with it. But without it being brought here in this room and part of our meeting that we vote on and approve, she is legally not able to do her work. And there's many things that she does in the finance department that requires legally this board's approval for her to take the steps. And if she starts taking steps that aren't approved, she's in a very bad spot. So this is part of that process. It's not to be untransparent, and I welcome it. It's not that I'm being negative here. I do welcome it because it's a great opportunity for everybody to learn, and then that builds the trust because we're sharing. But it's kind of boring. Did anyone get excited about that? No, right? It's kind of boring. So that's why it's on the consent agenda, because it is routine. It's governed by the laws of North Carolina and this GASB thing. It is laws of North Carolina, right? and it has to be done to keep us decent in order as a county, and that's what we should be doing. So.
Ms. Holzman, are we, any reason this didn't need, I know Mr. Wilder said something about a public hearing or bypassing a public hearing. Are you aware of anything regarding that? That was the other part of the statement that he made.
Nothing on here that I know of has to do
Okay.
anything with the public hearing. Again, it's just accounting purposes of being able to where I can put the money where it needs to be
Yep.
spent or supposed to be spent out of. Yes, sir.
And I'll add to this too, because I'm fairly new up on this board, only about a year and a half. I've been amazed. One, Jamie's done a really, really good job for us, and her T's are crossed and her I's are dotted for sure. But the oversight and the regulation has surprised me that a county goes through from state and federal regulations. There's not a lot of opportunity, and I'm not the smartest guy, so I don't know that I'd figure it out, but there's not a lot of opportunity to hide anything away from the state as far as on the accounting end of this. They're looking at everything we do and everything she does all the time. So it's got to be right. And so I wanted to add that along with that. So Jamie, thank you so much for coming up here and clarifying.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay, do we have any other questions on the consent agenda? And let's have a motion to approve that, and then we'll go to our proclamation.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The proclamation. So do we need to go back? Okay. Right. Right. Okay. At this time, the board would like to honor a very special accomplishment this evening, the Bunn Wildcats, who I understand that quite a few of them are here. They're known as the 2026 Baseball 4A State Champions. Yay! I'd like to ask the team and the coaches to come to the front of the room as Commissioner David Bunn, who is a fellow Wildcat.
Me too. Me too.
Oh,
I was Wildcat before he was.
You're on
It's
my own.
okay. It's okay. Go Wildcats, baby. Got you.
He's going to read the proclamation. My two children are Wildcats also. So there you go. We're all Wildcats in the nation. Huh? Oh. Not because of Bone. Oh, listen to him. He's making a joke. They did graduate from Bone. And we're gonna ask David to come down and read that.
Yeah, y'all come
And
on.
We're gonna have all of y'all come up. Your championship coaches are head coach Patrick Warren and assistant coaches John Rackle and Taylor Longson. And I want to announce all these names, but I hope I can do it. Oh, look, he's got the plaque. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to announce all these names of all these guys up here so y'all can hear who's up here. Owen
Mitchell. Owen Mitchell's here. Jared Hagwood, Caleb Johnson, Connor Hathaway, Kagan Price. I said it right. Thank you. Tariq Stone. Is that correct? Tariq Stone. Okay. Dylan Mitchell. Dylan Mitchell. Thank you. Jackson Alford, Calvin Hooks, Hayden Carpenter, Braden Jackson, Jaden Cancilla, Troy Acock, Hunter Buckingham, DeQuan Cook, Trey Lee, and manager J.T. Turner. And at this time, we're going to have, oh, wait a minute. This is the second baseball state title in the school history at Bunn. The last one was in 1979. Were you in school then, Bunn?
No, I was barely born then.
We're going to have Commissioner Bunn read this proclamation.
Whereas the Bunn High School baseball team has achieved an extraordinary accomplishment by capturing the North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championship, and whereas through hard work, dedication, perseverance, discipline, and teamwork, the Wildcats demonstrated excellence through the season and represented Bunn High School and Franklin County with distinction. And whereas the team's success is a testament to the commitment of its student athletes, coaches, school administrators, faculty, families, and supporters who contributed to this remarkable achievement. And whereas winning a state championship requires not only athletic skill, but also character, determination, sportsmanship, and a commitment to a common goal. And whereas the accomplishments of the Bunn High School baseball team have brought great pride and recognition to the Bunn community and all of Franklin County. And whereas these student athletes have served as outstanding ambassadors for their school and community, inspiring younger generations through their example of leadership, dedication, and excellence. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that the Franklin County Board of Commissioners hereby congratulates and honors the Bunn High School baseball team for winning the North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championship and commends the players, coaches, school officials, families, and supporters whose efforts made this achievement possible. Be it further proclaimed that the board expresses its sincere appreciation for the positive example set by these student athletes and encourages all citizens of Franklin County to join in celebrating this historic accomplishment. Approved this day, first day of June 2026.
Okay, guys, I'm asking all of you to go out front in front of the sign, and we're going to do pictures with the commissioners, okay? A good honor. What an honor to be able to recognize one of our high schools like that. With the state championship, that's an honor. Okay, action items number 3. And at first, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Bunn to say a few words about our budget.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple of things I would like to address on the budget. We are grateful to the community and the members who came to our last meeting to share their concerns about the future of farming in Franklin County. Farmland has always been the center of Franklin County's life. And we understand the importance of farms to our community. Although we have a tight budget this year, I have asked the staff to set aside $50,000 in research and for what farmland preservation program could look like for Franklin County. I asked the staff to research what additional funding sources might be available and how other counties have approached farmland preservation. I think we all share our farming families' concerns, and we are grateful for everyone who brought those concerns to us. With that being said, my standpoint, and one thing I want to make clear, is if Franklin County can spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to get water for industry and development and for infrastructure and growth, then why in the world can't we create a line item and get it started with this $50,000 and let's start saving some land in this county? So I would like to add that to our budget, if that is all right with the rest of the board. And I would. Is that in the form of a motion? Yeah, all this is in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is everyone understand the motion, or do you have any questions about it?
Is this, so just make sure I'm clear, this is $50,000 going towards the county and the state's program match, basically, for farmland preservation, where applications are put in. That's what you're.
That's my intention.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
At least they can get them involved so that if a farm in Franklin County qualifies with the state, at least get them in a program where they can get the state funds, even if the county can't match it. At least they can get the state funds and get them in the program.
I don't disagree with you. I know there over the last couple of months there have been some people that have reached out, maybe more online than anything, and so I take that for what it's worth, and that's not much online. But talking about a little bit of the hypocrisy of this board as far as looking for additional water revenues while downplaying this farmland preservation and this idea, thinking that we shelved it or put it off to the side. And I actually don't think that's been the intention of this board at all. But I think it's a good opportunity to say that one of the only reasons that I have been hesitant on this, although, you know, the budget is tight, but I wanted to be very careful for myself individually, not speaking for the other 6 members up here, that we don't laden too many government programs just in general. I'm just as little of those as possible, I think is better. And so it had nothing to do with farmland preservation, and I don't think it had very little to do with farmland preservation with everyone else sitting up here. But I wanted to take a minute and address that was my only hesitancy with this, really. Just being very careful we're as clean and free and as few government government programs as possible. I do want to say too, one of the things that I think would be very important as well is that my wife and I just did our estate planning. We looked at the cost difference between a general will and then dropping everything in an estate. And so for a lot of those people out there, whether or not y'all know it or don't, if you go through an estate planning, it is a little bit more expensive, but you can do a lot of things with your estate for the future, where your farmland can't be touched, or your land can't be sold, or it can be sold at certain times or for certain amounts. And I think that's important, that everyone should know that as far as, having this conversation. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, for those that say, I don't want my land sold when I'm gone. You have that option out there, and you can write that in for 100 years or 200 years or 300 years. So you have that. But as far as Mr. Bunn, I do not disagree with where you're going with this, and I support this motion as well.
Do we have any other comments?
I'd like to add, all good comments from Commissioner Davis. I haven't had a chance to really get as much information as maybe I would want to get on this. I'm like you, I don't believe we need more government programs for more government programs. I don't like the way these ideas come out and they're used for political gain and not really for the real intention that's behind them. So it's interesting to me that it's an election year and this is a topic. But I also know, it's good to point out about the estate, but I also know this for the folks that don't know, if you own your deed and you own it, it's your piece of land, you can have a deed restriction put on your piece of property that can say anything you want. Never a tree can be cut down, or you can't put a pond on here, or whatever you want to do. You can restrict it. You can restrict it. It can't be sold or ever used for anything but X. Maybe you don't want it to be sold to anything but to a church. You can put that on your deed, and whoever buys that property, that's their only option under the law. I mean, and the law will be here when we're all gone. So it will go past the test of time in the generation that is here in front of us now. The one thing that I thought about this on and off quite a bit, and one of the things I can't get through my head is this. So this trust is going to allow farmers to sell their land, but not sell them. That's pretty fuzzy to me. So let me go ahead and say what I mean. So these farmers, and I'm just going to use myself as an example. I've got a 50-acre farm. I got a 50-acre farm, and I don't ever want it to be sold. I want to have trees, and I want to have hay grass on it like it's got right now. And for as long as this world spins, I don't ever want to be anything but trees and hay grass. But I can sell under this program. Somebody somewhere is going to give me, or my agreeing that this will never be anything but farmland, they're going to give me $10,000 an acre or $500,000. Who's going to give me $500,000? Okay, well, supposedly it's some entity. I don't know. I haven't got that far. But what scares me about that is what they're basically doing is they're selling the development right of your property. Those of you in the room that have been here 50 years or more, you may have sold a piece of property in your lifetime, where maybe you did or you did not convey, it's called. You did not convey your mineral and gas rights. If you've got grandparents that had a farm that ain't in your family no more, and you research that deed, you might find out that your parents, under the current law, your ancestors did not give away the mineral rights below that soil, down in the ground. And if there's natural gas there, or there's something magical there, under the law, you may still be entitled to the ownership of it if you can prove you have ownership, that you are in fact the lineage of that deed. So if we're going to sell off 35% of the value of my farm to somebody for development rights, that I can't develop it and I'm going to get paid as a farmer, which means that land can never be developed, what's in it for the people paying it? Somebody in this world's got some opportunity to gain. They ain't just throwing money around for me to sign a piece of paper and they don't get nothing. What are they going to gain? And when are they going to gain it? That's what's had me really curious about this from the get-go. And I've been really kind of staying back. It ain't adding up. In my world, it's not adding up. And so that scares me that we're running down the hill to something like this. Hurry up, we got to do it right now. Why do we got to do it right now? Why this year? Why this meeting? Why right now? What's on fire? Only 7 applicants last year, the year before, the most recent go around, only 7 applicants in the entire state of North Carolina got accepted into this grant program. Only 7. Now, I'm not trying to say that there's anything hinky going on or anybody's cooking the books, because somebody smarter than me further up the chain somewhere has this figured out. But 50 years from now or 75 years from now, this next generation has that farm, and these people walk up one day that now hold this piece of paper that says, we own the development rights of your farm and we're going to develop it. And right here on this page of this thing, it says after 50 years, I can do it. Or whatever it is, I don't know. I've not been able, that information has not come to me. It's not been shared with me in the few times this concept's been shared to me. And it concerns me. It concerns me about what is the end result down the road. Just as much as it concerns me that every taxpayer of this county has some of their money going into something that an individual person can do for themselves. This individual person, me, on my 50 acres, I can make that deed restriction on my title, on my deed, and forever and ever, amen. That's what it's got to be. As long as it's enforced and somebody knows about it enforced. So that's what concerns me, and it concerns me it's got to be done right this minute. What's the hurry? What's the fire? Why not be more transparent? I'm trusting, but I'm curious, and I'm a little concerned. I am. So that's my concern with this, and I appreciate Commissioner Bunn's interest in this. But why right now? Why in this budget session right this minute? And we amend budgets and do things with budgets every month or two, and amendments to the budget. So this can be done when it's more transparent, maybe a little bit more understood. I don't know.
Anybody else got any comments? The comment I'll make is that I do want to preserve farmland, and I do know that you can have deed restrictions because I have a family member that has several acres, 100 acres of farm that has that. They don't want that farm to ever be, when it's passed down, to ever be developed. It can only be farmed. So there are many ways to protect the farmland out here. You just have to look into it and know what it is. There's many ways to go and protect your farm so that people can't build on it in the future when we're all dead and gone. So we have a motion on the floor. And did we have a second to that motion? And we have a second. All approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Motion carries. Okay. Let's move on to our county manager.
Madam Chair, I have one more other item.
Oh, okay. On the budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
During the budget presentation, our manager recommended a $15 increase in the solid waste fee. I would like to ask for that to be removed, and that is in the form of a motion.
Do we have any discussion? Do we have any discussion on that?
Can I get the Ryan, do we have current rates right now? I'm sorry. Solid waste.
For us,
Yes.
we do with the
Okay.
surrounding areas as well.
What's that?
And the surrounding areas.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
That's the page I'm looking for, and that I left it in the truck.
To carry 110 to go into 125.
I think 110 to 125. Also, too, other counties are charging a lot more, as much as $200. I didn't understand until a month ago, and I've been on this board almost 10 years now. It was my understanding through that time that this assessment of solid waste went on every tax bill. So on my 50-acre farm, I paid $110 waste fee. I was told that that's not, that I have to have electric meter there, meaning there has to be a house or a farm building or something that has power, and only the parcels that have meter, electric meter, are assessed this fee. And so, you know, it's not like everybody's is paying this. It's just people where there's homes typically, where there's businesses typically, where there's a light meter, all the above. But the unfortunate part about it is that the cost of these things continue to be an issue, and getting rid of our trash continues to be an issue. It's a costly issue, and this county has learned over the years that having a landfill is not ideal either, because once you have a landfill, you're going to have that landfill is your responsibility even when you don't use it anymore. It's regulated. It's required certain inspections on a regular basis. I believe there was one year we had to spend $200-some thousand because of the regulations that are on the landfill that we've not abandoned, but we're not using anymore. It's done. It's been closure. Thank you. It's been closed, and whatever's required by the federal government and the state governments for all those environmental things has been done, and now it just has to be monitored. But that costs money, and I can appreciate us not wanting to go up on fees and rates, but I think it's respectful if we have costs that the people that are actually benefiting from those services be more responsible to pay for those services than just everybody who has a piece of partial land in the county. So it should fall on the users of that, instead of the masses. It should fall on the users themselves. I didn't like the fact that we're stepping up $15 at one time, but I also did learn that we've got an $8 or $10 million expense coming to us ish, and I may be wrong about that. Am I off, Ryan, on that, for what the requirements from the state that's coming on us with our the trash area that we collect and how much we can do there, and that's going to have to be expanded?
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at that.
It's like an $8 or $10 million.
Potentially.
So where we collect the trash now at the old landfill, it's not a landfill anymore. It's what they call a transfer station, which means all the waste from the convenience sites comes to the transfer station that's in the same gated area where the landfill is. But it's this big metal building or big metal shelter, and all the trash is dumped in it from the dumpsters that bring it from our convenience sites. And then tractor trailers come and we reload and compress that trash and put it into tractor trailers that haul it. I believe it goes to South Virginia somewhere now. I don't know. But anyway, it gets hauled somewhere other than Franklin County to be disposed of permanently. And we can only, based on the space that we have, the regulation says, the government says, the big government, state, and I don't know if it's federal, but it's certainly state. The state says that based on the tonnage, the amount of weight that's shipped out of there every year, you have to have this big of a facility. Well, when we're already pushing the edge of that tonnage, which means the only way we can continue to push more trash out of there as we continue to grow a little bit, is we're going to have to make that a bigger place. And so the next step, whether you add on a bedroom to your house or you add on a bedroom and a bathroom, bottom line is you have to add on at least a bedroom. So you might want to add on the bathroom too. It might be a good time to do that and save money. We may end up adding a little bit more than what we need to require right now, because it would be more cost effective for the time to do that than to just do a little bit. But the point of it is in order for us to continue to deal with the trash being collected in this county, we're going to have to spend about another $8 to $10 million. But that's not taxpayer money. Okay? Trash is like a business within the government, so they call that an enterprise. Trash is a business inside of government. So this enterprise money that comes in does not commingle. It doesn't go in the same checking account. That's all of your tax money does from paying taxes on your property. It's in a separate checking account just for the solid waste department. They have their own checking account. And whatever money comes in there is the money that gets spent to cover those costs. So your and my tax dollars paid on our houses, that money don't get slipped over here to make up the difference. That separate checking account has got to make the money for the expenses it has to pay. And that's why the fee needs to go up. And these fees you hear from time to time have to go up, because we can't take our tax dollars or our sales tax money and go over here and provide trash, because the state of North Carolina set it up this way. North Franklin County didn't. We're just trying to be decent and above board and do what the rules are. So it makes sense to me not to raise property tax, which we can't do because we can't take that money and go put it in this fund. We've got to raise the fees for the people that use the trash. And the people that use that service are the ones that pay for it.
Okay, do we have any other comments? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to leave the rates as they currently are.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we have a second. from Commissioner Speed, right? Okay. All in favor of the motion to leave the rates as they currently are and not increase them, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
No.
The ayes carry that we'll leave the rates as they are. Okay? Is that all you have?
I'm doing that.
All right. Okay, I'm going to call on our county manager, Mr. Preble, to speak on the budget at this time.
All right. Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. Tonight's agenda item marks the end of a challenging budget season. The increased FY '27 budget was developed during a time of rising cost and increasing service demands while maintaining our commitment to meeting the needs of Franklin County's residents. As a result, difficult decisions were necessary throughout this process. To present a balanced and responsible budget, reductions were made across nearly every department and functions of county government. While many worthwhile projects and initiatives were deferred, these decisions were necessary to ensure that we continue to operate within our means and maintain the county's long-term financial stability. This budget reflects the reality that resources are finite and government must make choices just as our citizens and businesses do every day. Despite these constraints, the budget continues to fund essential services, support our employees, and address our most pressing operational needs. I want to thank our department directors and staff for their professionalism, flexibility, and willingness to make difficult adjustments throughout this process. I also want to thank the board for your guidance and thoughtful consideration of many of the competing priorities before us. While this budget does not fund every need, it represents a fiscally responsible path forward and positions Franklin County to remain financially strong as we continue to manage growth and prepare for future challenges.
Thank you. Okay, does any other commissioner have anything that they want to talk about or concerns about the budget or any discussion on the budget at this time? Hearing none. We need to have, our action item is to discuss the approval of the budget. I have a motion to approve the FY '27 budget ordinance as presented, levying the general fund rate at 50.5 cents per $100 valuation of property listed for taxes as of January the 1st, 2026. Approval of a general fund budgeting totaling $137,799. And approval of the capital improvement CIP for the general fund and solid waste enterprise fund as presented for the FY '27 through FY '31, and public utilities enterprise fund as presented for FY '27 through FY '42 as planning documents, and approval of the FY '27 fee schedule resolution.
Does that resolution include the two amendments made here tonight?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I make a motion to approve.
And we have a motion and a second to approve our budget. Does everyone approve? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Okay, the budget is approved. All right, the next agenda item is B, the resolution column for alcoholic beverage election in Franklin County. And I'm going to call on our attorney, Ms. McCray, to speak on this at this time.
Yes, good evening. I'm going to ask that the board bring this action item back on July 13th, 2026. But before I do, I wanted to give you a brief background on this resolution. in case you had some questions. Each year, the county is approached by business owners at requesting that they be allowed to sell mixed drinks in restaurants and other types of businesses outside of incorporated areas. The Board of Commissioners has no power to do that. It is only something that the voters of Franklin County can do. So this resolution that's before you is just to give the voters the opportunity to vote on this. However, we would need some additional time to discuss this resolution with community partners. So we're just asking you to place this on July 13th, 2026.
Make a
You need
motion
that in
to-
mo- yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
make a motion to approve the action requested by the council.
Yep, second.
Does everyone approve? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Okay, motion carries. Item C, landscaping services contract, and David Brindle's gonna present that to us.
Good afternoon. You know, seeing all those young faces up here, a reminder of how old I really am.
Isn't that the truth?
Enfield, right?
Speak for yourself, David.
That's like me. David Bridle, Assistant County Manager. Tonight I'll be presenting the landscaping and grounds maintenance contract. Background on this contract we currently have is Lewisburg Lawn Care. It is expiring on July 30th. The current contract is for $159,000, $159,980 for a one-year term. This agreement will be for a 3-year landscaping and grounds maintenance contract for all 55 county sites. We had 3 bids come in. I may pronounce this wrong. Jarima Landscapes at $593,991. Lewisburg Lawn, $491,640. And the lowest bid was Mr. Landscape at $386,760. Staff recommendation is to award the contract to Mr. Landscape Design Build Incorporated for $363,760. And we are requesting the county commission to award the landscaping and grounds maintenance contract to Mr. Landscape Design Build Incorporated in the amount of $386,760 and authorize the county manager to execute the contract and sign any other documents as needed pending review from the county attorney.
Do we have any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
It's a no-brainer, man.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All approved, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Okay, item 4A is a DSS board appointment. We're asked to consider appointing David Harris to the DSS board to serve as commissioner representative. He'll serve a 3-year term that would expire in June 30th of 2029. Do we hear a motion?
Motion made.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, at this time, I have a planning board slot that's opened that was emptied in my area. And at this time, I'd like to appoint Nat Sandlin as our new member to the planning board in my district.
Motion made.
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, B, Home and Community Care Block Grant Advisory Committee. We want to appoint Susan Boyd and Alan Winston to this. Reappoint Joyce Cook, Sheila Austin, Gwen Wheeler, Romeo Williams, Jamie Holtzman, Pamela Nims, Cindy Jones, and Louise Johnson. Do I hear a motion to appoint these? A second? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Item C, Juvenile Criminal Prevention Council. We want to consider appointing Abby Keith to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council.
Motion made.
Second.
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Okay. The VGCC Board of Trustees, where the board is asked to appoint a trustee to the, a county commissioner to the board of the Vance Granville Community College trustees. We've had Michael Schreiber, Commissioner Michael Schreiber is currently on that board. His term will expire June the 30th of 26. And so we need to consider an appointment for a 4-year term. Do we have a motion to appoint Commissioner Schreiber to a 4-year term?
Is that something you're willing to serve on, Mr. Schreiber?
I'm currently serving, so yeah, I'll continue.
I make a motion, we appoint Mr. Schreiber to that board.
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. We have now the item 5 of board and manager clerk's comments. And I'm going to start with Ms. McCray over there. And our clerk has no comments. Okay, I'm going to go to Commissioner May.
Okay, I attended the employee appreciation picnic, but I didn't fill that survey out, but I just want to let them know everything they done was great. The food was great. They don't need to change anything. I thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Okay, Commissioner Speed. Commissioner Bunn.
I would like to thank our staff, the public for coming, their input tonight, the staff's input during our budget process, and the board, for listening and working, understanding, even if we don't agree, we can still get along
That's right.
with each other. That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Foy.
Okay, I had the honor and privilege of attending and helping out with the, I think it's the 34th annual Spring Day in the Park. That was over at Joyner Park this past Thursday. Very well attended, a lot of turnout, a lot of hot dogs, drinks, and drawing for free utility train. And I put out special thanks to Commissioner Speed down there for doing the music like he does year after year after year. Anyway, that concludes my report.
Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, so a couple things. Obviously, Bunn with 4A State High School champs is pretty cool. My son played for Franklinton, and they didn't nearly make it as far, but we did make it to state playoffs, and we did win our first round. And I think it was the first round win since 2015 or something. So we played Bunn 3 times. They beat us twice, and we beat them at the Easter tournament, which was a big deal. So I wasn't going to bring that up there tonight and rain on their parade there, even though they probably wouldn't have bothered them too bad. But not any real updates. We did have Campo come in. Campo representatives came in mid-May, met with myself, Scott Hammerbacher, and Ryan, and it was good, a one-on-one. Not any real huge updates out of that, and not a lot out of Cartar. We got Cartar's budget presentation, and then formal vote on that on June 25th, I believe. So not a lot to update as far as that goes. I did want to take a minute, and they say you probably shouldn't wake a sleeping baby, but there has been a couple mentions of it tonight, and I'd feel a little remiss if I didn't read this statement out to you guys. But I'm gonna take a minute if you don't mind, and it'll be fairly quick. But I feel like it's important that the public should hear this. But I'm gonna read it, and typically I free flow a little bit, but I think I don't want to do that on this one. So I want to take a minute and address something that I feel is very important regarding Franklin County's pursuit of viable long-term water supply to meet our needs. Commissioner Schreiber and our attorney, Ms. McCray, spent considerable time at last month's meeting, I think, explaining the growing needs of the county and the conversations that have been going on for 15 plus years, and the steps that have been taken both federally and state to get to this point. But I feel like it's necessary to address a few additional items. First, if any of you know me and my fellow commissioners, you will find that we are fair people. We're people with families, property, business, employees, problems, much like you guys. However, I do not want you to forget that we were elected to represent you, the people of Franklin County. I, in particular, was elected to represent the 10,000 plus people of District 1. And I will always, and I believe my other members up here will feel the same, enter into a decision with you in mind and what is best for the people. We may not always agree on that, but it is with good intentions for you. We want to be good neighbors and partners, yes, but we also want to lead the citizens of this county first in the best possible way. That includes decisions we make for today, but also decisions that have long-lasting impacts for our future. I say all that so the citizens know that our priority in finding responsible, legal, efficient, and lasting solutions to our water needs. And I don't answer to any other county or municipality outside of Franklin. And I'm happy to be a good neighbor, and I'm happy to work where we need to, but I do feel that it's important to know that all of us up here in all of our discussions are entering this and doing this with the best intentions of you guys. At least that's me. And I feel the same for my fellow board members. Second, and I'll finish with this, I've known Representative Matt Winslow for a long time, before I was into this and before he was into politics as well. He is as good and as honest a person that there is. He has represented this region with dignity. He has worked incredibly hard to better not only Franklin County, but our surrounding counties as well. Representative Winslow did what this board asked him to do and help us solve a problem, one that is complex, far-reaching, and vital to the health of this county. So when anyone signs up to run for political office, you understand what lays before you. Some days and issues are harder than others, but for Matt, there is no one better, and I'm grateful for the way he's led this region. I wanted to read that because there's just a lot of, I have fairly tough skin, but there was a lot of really, obviously, bad things said, and that's fine, but I think the intentions of this board and our minds being polluted and being evil and all of those things is pretty far off base. You got a lot of people that are trying to make the best decision and good decisions, not only for today, but for 50 and 100 years from now. And so I wanted to clear that up. And if I didn't go on the record for saying that, I'd probably regret it. So with that being said, I'm done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Well said.
That was well said. I just want to remind you, when you were talking about what everybody said about the water and where we have water, it's all on the website.
Yeah.
Just go on the website and look, and
That's right.
that stuff's on there too.
That's right.
It's not like we're not being transparent. It's there for you to see. So, all right, Commissioner Sharp.
I can't follow that.
Yeah,
I'm out.
You did a really good.
grievance?
No. You did a really good job a month ago. You and Gina,
Yes.
getting the the nuts and bolts, and so grateful for you on that. But
Right. I've had a busy time, as usual. I don't remember if I've spoke to y'all about, but I'm going to do it again if I did, about the Bunn High School. We know what they did with this. Recently, they had the Connect for Success trade skill class program, and I don't remember if I talked to y'all about that before or not, but I attended that, and it's where they were building the sheds, and they had the vault where they were doing the electrical and all that stuff there. And I'm just still amazed at they sponsored that this year. They said they're going to do it again next year, which is great. And I know that they send students around the state to those programs when they have it. It's competitions. My grandson actually attended a bunch of those competitions when he was in Bunn High School. He graduated last year, and he actually is an apprentice in an electrical company right now because of this program, making good money. And they are paying for him to be in school and paying for his schooling so he can get licensed. And so that's just a great program that Bunn High School has going on too, and that they sponsored this year. And I don't remember if I told y'all about that, but I'm gonna say it again because it was great. I attended the health board meeting that we had this month. The health board is doing really well, and the health department here in the county is doing real well. I'm always impressed with the programs that they have going on. Our Superintendent Dr. Hardy and I made a surprise visit to the Franklinton Elementary School one day, and she and I have bonded very well. And we're talking about, she has very good ideas for our schools. And she's worked so well with our commissioners and with the budgeting. And she's real interested in our system and what's going on with our students. And I'm glad to be able to meet with her. We meet often and talk about what's going on with the school system. And I'm really glad to have that relationship with her. We had a Mariah Parent Board meeting, and things are still going on at our hospital here. And it's growing, and we're having new doctors coming in all the time and new services. So that's a good thing. I also attended the Senior Fun Day, which they call it the Spring Day now. And it is 34, I think, years old. I actually started that. Nancy Sharon is a brainchild of Nancy Sharon, who worked for me back 34 years ago. And we built on that. So it's been going on all these years. It's a really good event. This year was well attended. It was well attended. Don't y'all agree? There were 3 of us commissioners there at different times during the day. It's a great thing with all the seniors coming from around the county to that. Today I attended, it made my day. I've been happy all day because I did attend the Franklinton Elementary School graduation of the kindergarten class. Oh, those little kids, every time they'd call and walk across the stage, and the smiles on their face. And they were so excited about walking across the stage and getting their little diplomas and all. And that was just, I told them that just made my day. The last thing I want to talk about is that, you know, our new senior center EMS station is being built in Franklinton in the old Walgreens building. I've made several visits to that. I don't want to worry them too much, but I'm so excited about what it's looking like and how it's going. And I put my little hard hat on and my little vest that they gave me, and I go in and see what's going on in that building.
So then they run away.
Listen to him. No, I'm just excited about what's going on and seeing the progress of that building and what's going to happen. And I hope we still are going to open in the fall. I think they're ahead of schedule, so I think we're doing good. So that's the last thing I have. And how about our county manager? Do you have reports tonight?
I don't have reports. I want a couple of thank yous. Again, thank you to the board for approving the 27 budget. We'll get to work. We're excited to move forward after that. I did want to say, and thank you for reminding me, Commissioner May, the employee picnic was a great success. I am glad we were able to bring that back. It was well attended is an understatement. A lot of games. I think we just need more games. I had a great time. Well attended. We had even had, I guess, takeaway meals so somebody could eat back at work. It was just really well attended. Great weather, worked out. I think I'm looking forward to next year. It was a really well attended event. I want to say a special thank you to HR for putting that on, and also the Sheriff's Office for helping out. So thank you for all of that, and thank you to our staff for making that happen.
Okay. Let's go to item number 6, our closed session. What have we got? Oh, okay. We're going to add an item on our closed session, which is personnel A6 143 318.11, NCGS 143 318.11 38 attorney-client privilege communication, NCGS 143 318.11 for A4 industry economic development, and NCGS 143 318.11 A5 real property purchase contracts and leases. Do I hear a motion that we go into closed session at this time?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
Okay. Well, ayes carried.
Well, you know, bro,